What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the SOOP Duel Series Season 3. We've got another rematch between SnOw and Speed. This time, a series from 2025. We're starting off on Polestar, ending on Death Valley. Match number 7. If we make it that far, that would be pretty awesome. I think that's what we're all hoping for. That's what we're all cheering for. These two guys, fan favorites. Two of my favorite players. SnOw and Speed. They have clashing styles and tend to produce some pretty interesting games. So looking forward to this series quite a bit. Seems like Speed wants to open with a gasless fast expand, a little bunker expand going up in the front here. Initially against the gas build from SnOw. I tend to prefer Speed when he opens very quick factory. He's kind of like a Sharp-esque player. In fact, Sharp doing really well recently, especially in KCM. Maybe check that out. Definitely go watch that. KCM was absolutely mad. So, like I said, I do prefer to have Speed open with those earlier factors. I think he does a lot better job of controlling the pace of the game, and getting that aggression going early seems to suit his style a little bit more than opening something like this. This is more like a flash play or a light style of play where you open up very conservatively, kind of react to what your opponent is doing and just try to get this expansion up as quickly as possible. There's the bunker finishing up just in the nick of time with 2 SCVs here. You're not going to be able to do a run by either. Looks like those SCVs will be pulled back. And there's the robo. So this is the problem with opening bunker expand, is you don't have the muscle to push out on the map, and you can get punished by something like this. Oh, Speed is going to find it though. Big moment here as he comes down and sees the robo and gateway being proxied outside of his base. Excellent scouting. Getting that information at this point is hugely impactful. And look at this, gonna build a shield battery up there on the high ground next to the robo, kind of preempting that Speed may try to come out here and bunker this. Bunker push that proxy location. He actually cancels it now. Okay, he was expecting like a bunch of SCVs maybe to get pulled from Speed and him just try to come out with a whole bunch of Marines to try and break that. But since the SCV pull never happens and doesn't seem like Speed is building a lot of Marines right now, he's just gonna cancel the shield battery, get this robotic support bay up as soon as possible. There it is back at home. SCV over at the natural, just waiting for a Nexus to come down. That'll tell him how all in SnOw is actually being at this point. eBay is done. Some turrets are going to start. I'm going to try and make a whole ring of turrets around the outside, but unfortunately for him, those turrets will not complete in time to block this shuttle out. 4 Marines here in the main are going to try to shut this down, but the elevator up into the main is quite difficult right now. Oh, he loses the shuttle there. That's a huge loss, actually. There's going to be a tank out in a moment here, and with some SCV pulls, he should be able to shut this down. It's going to take a long time for another shuttle to pop out, and so he's gonna get that Reaver out soon. Oh, and he's gonna catch the Dragoon as well. Big catch on this Dragoon. Speed handling this very well. Has a good worker lead and might even catch this next Dragoon. Oh, it's so close. Not quite able to get it. Marine will fall. He's gonna go after one of the turrets there in the main, trying to get rid of that turret so he can open up some sort of option for pushing in a little bit later. Oh, that's some sick play from Speed. Look at that. Hopping inside of the bunker to avoid the shots. Oh, this is some real Gosu play, man. I love to see it. Speed. Dodging Reaver shots by jumping SCVs that are repairing into the bunker. That is so sick. He's going to have to drop inside this main. He has to get some damage going here. Probably end up sacrificing the shuttle, maybe. Going after this turret. Can he get the turret? He gets the turret, but the Reaver takes quite a good amount of damage. Definitely losing all of its shields at the bare minimum. Opening up this pathway, though, into the back of the base. Takes a shot on the Dragoon. Big shot from the Reaver initially. Lowering him back down to 22 SCVs. Now down to just 20. Big kills here. 8 kills total on this Reaver. Siege up. It's a little bit more damage going on that. Okay, Dragoon just sacrificing itself into the natural. Speed is just about held this completely. Does lose another tank. Got to be a little bit more careful with these tanks. Cannot be losing these. We'll put some more damage on that Reaver. Full hit there on that one tank. He's going to drop right on top of it. Get the kill on that tank again and pick up. Only one arc light cannon shot more was leveraged onto that Reaver. Try to slip out here if he can. Looks like that hole is still wide open. Another Reaver could come back in. There's not that many tanks here. He can't just get back in and drop on top of that building turret. Second shuttle is out now. Things are going to get a little bit complicated here. There's 2 Reavers in the mix. Targeting down one of them. He does get the one Reaver and backs away from the shot. Does not take full damage on that tank there and can start to siege up. Although the turrets are going to start to break down. Dropping a Zealot here. Gonna try and get a Reaver shot. That Reaver shot's gonna hit both of these tanks. Target fire on the Reaver. Oh, he's gonna target the Reaver. Oh, not able to get it. And the next tank goes down. No more tanks here. One more tank above the refinery. Still no Nexus here from SnOw. He is all in right now. Just trying to break this main base over and over again. There's been so much money spent on shuttles so far. But he is starting to do it. He's starting to get through this. That one Reaver's gonna go down. That Reaver kill is huge. He does lose another tank and quite a few more SCVs, but getting rid of the Reaver is a massive pickup right now for Speed. Speed making a bunker in the main. Realizing just how much pressure he's gonna be under here. Losing some more turrets as well. Getting shoved back further and further. Still sitting on one factory, guys. One factory is all that he can muster. Looks like that might dud out here. Yes, it will. Reaver going down into the natural, though, could get some big kills on some SCVs. SCVs are going down here in the natural. Already a wild game. Our first one here with SnOw versus Speed. Another tank goes down. That turret finishing up is kind of impactful. It's going to force the Reaver to sit and kill that for a little bit of time here. Reaver down into the natural again. More kills here. I think this is just about over. SnOw is pulling him apart little by little. Speed just doesn't have much income left over. He has to clear this Reaver. It's got to go down here. Otherwise, he'll just never stabilize. Taking a couple more shots. Another tank goes down. From the high ground, can take a couple of pot shots. One more hit. He gets it. He kills the Reaver. The Reaver goes down, but another one already being loaded up. There's only one tank available, guys. The second one pops out here in the main. 2 tanks only to start to deal with this, and now Dragoons are being leveraged up here. Eventually, SnOw's going to take a Nexus as well. I think he's almost at 400 minerals. There's a bunker. But with 3 Dragoons pushing forward, it's hard to imagine he's going to be able to hold this. Another good dodge with the Reaver. Breaking through all the tanks. The last of the tanks has gone down. It's just pure Marine fighting against a Reaver with full HP. There's the tank popping out. It's going to be dove upon immediately by those Dragoons. The Dragoons dealing a lot of damage to that. Tank sieges up, but it's out of range of this Reaver. The Reaver is going to be placed right in front here, and it will hop the Scarab over that SCV, able to get the kill on that tank immediately. Oh gosh, Speed is just having such a hard time, guys. He's barely maybe not going to get this next tank out. You can target down the... Oh my god! Oh, another big hit there. Another Reaver comes in. There's more Reavers here than there are tanks at this point. And that's just impossible to deal with. It's getting worse and worse here. Speed continues to try and fight. SCVs are going to surround this Reaver. He's got 17 SCVs to 30 probes now. And the Nexus is about to get taken. Still just juggling in this main. This game has SnOw written all over it, guys. And Speed trying to finish up a starport. Don't you know there's Dragoons in your main? Oh my gosh, it doesn't even finish. 99.99%. Speed not quite able to get that out. And these Reavers have just gone to town, ripping him limb from limb. Another Terran player would have tapped out years ago. But here we are. Speed's still trying to play this game right now with 11 SCVs. 11 SCVs, guys. Is not letting this go. And Nexus starts. He does finish the... Oh, God. He can't even build another tank. Oh, he has another tank in production, but... He's only got 100 minerals. Starts another tank afterwards. Still going back and forth here. 4 Dragoons. Ready to be loaded up. And at this point, SnOw is not even really playing anymore. He's just kind of sitting back, relaxing. Gonna drop the Dragoon and Reaver on top of this final tank. Finally, Speed leaves this game. Oh my goodness. The fantasy GG timing is ridiculous there, but you could tell that Speed was pretty frustrated with how that went. Absolute exasperation, frustration displayed in that last game for Speed. SnOw ripped him apart with that proxy robo play. Speed, you could feel his anger. Those red cheeks as he sat at home and tried to play that one out. Was certainly frustrated and just overwhelmed by SnOw's continuous harassment and just elevating over and over again into that main base. Such a pain in the butt. But in the end... This is still a best of 7. You got to keep your head on straight here. Focus on the next games coming up. Don't get too caught up in what happened game number 1. I'd love to see him go for like an 11 gas, but it looks like 12 gas for Speed. I'm still happy with that. 12 gas. This is the most standard early tech build for Terran, really the most standard build all around, but it's going to be going up against the Nexus first, and without the 11 gas, you're not going to be able to put on as much pressure. If you go 11 gas, you can actually get the first Vulture in there before any Dragoons pop out, and you can get, you know, 2-3 kills. If you get 2-3 kills at the early game, early stages, and get out with the Vulture, 2-3 probe kills is what I mean. Then you can put yourself in a really good spot. Kind of even out the fact that the Protoss got away with an early Nexus, but he is going to scout this first. He's going to see the Nexus first. Down here bottom right. Maybe he pulls SCVs and Marines to try and bust this. That could be the way to go here. You know that he's got a very crisply timed factory. That's just Speed. Is crazy good with his timings. There's a second gateway coming up, but it's not a super fast second gateway. It wasn't like gate right after Nexus. This was gate, gas, cybernetics core, gate. So there's not going to be 2 zealots here right away. Instead, it's just going to be the one zealot, and there are indeed SCVs getting pulled across the map. Let's see if Speed can bust this wide open. He is very good at controlling these early Marines. And his SCV control almost second to none. And so he's going to bring everything up to the front here. We've got a pylon in the front. There's the Cyber Core finishing up. A couple of Dragoons are going to get started here soon. Cutting probes right now. SnOw trying to slip all that out. Already gets a probe kill. Not bad at all. Going to pull back these Marines. Oh, getting blocked a little bit. Getting blocked a little bit there is quite tough. He's going to lose a first Marine, and I think he lost the SCV building the bunker as well. Oh my gosh, he's just getting blocked by the probes and also the SCVs, in fact. Just kind of driving this back like a Zerg player is SnOw. Now the Vulture is here, though. He should be able to target down some probes with this. Oh, he's not going to send the Vulture forward. He could have easily, you know, chased down and moving shot a bunch of these probes, but was instead focused on dealing with that Zealot first. Now 2 Dragoons are out, and then on the other side of the bunker as well, so he can't easily send an SCV up here to deal with that, and oh, he doesn't get the cancel as well. Gonna lose that bunker for free. Dude, Speed might be tilted, guys. He might be completely tilted out of his mind here. 3 probes. We'll get a 4th probe here. 4 probes. Yeah, 4 probes do go down. SCV's still pushing in. 4 Dragoons now. He actually needs to worry about dying back at home after the fact now. Start to run back home, because this Dragoon army is making its way across, and it's pretty scary. 1 Vulture going to make its way around. There was 1 Dragoon left back at home. It was probably the lowest of the HP Dragoons. 1 probe going to try to get up here. Oh my gosh, he gets a kill on the probe. Wiping that out. Speed sitting on top of his ramp with 4 Marines. Dude, this is bad. This is about as bad as it gets, man. 18 workers, but he's going to start to be broken on this ramp. The Marines are all going to go down, and there's no tank. I mean, the tank is going to pop out, but just the 1 tank here. Oh, and it gets blocked as well. Okay, he does get rid of 2 Dragoons, but now there's 2 Dragoons in the main, and there's no tank. Speed taps out. GG. A quick win here for SnOw, and honestly, if I was Speed right now, I would be tilted off the face of the earth. Oh my goodness. Keyboards would be getting smashed right now. Mouse would be flying. The frustration continues. Speed having a hard time here. Hope he can turn things around. Shake it off. I'm sure he matches with SnOw all the time on the ladder. I know that SnOw does ladder quite a bit on his stream. Mostly he does kind of clown around on stream. It just sort of play for fun. But still, this guy has a lot of experience versus SnOw. The only thing is SnOw is just absolutely peaking in his performance lately. His run in ASL 19, the most recent ASL, he looked the best that he's ever looked, I think, in that series versus Solkey. That was the best SnOw we've ever seen. And like I said, this was played in 2025, probably right before ASL 19, so we're getting that absolute highest level of Protoss play from SnOw today. Speed here. I believe that was once again a 12 gas. I didn't quite catch the timing on it, but I believe that's what we're seeing here on Dominator. One build that's been very popular on Dominator is that 2 factory play. So getting a second factory in the main, some players are also opting to get a second factory out in the map. Kind of hard to scout that, find out where it is, and can sometimes catch your opponent off guard. Speed here. Gonna be getting his, okay, no, this was an 11 gas. Look at the timing on that factory. What, 224? Has to be an 11 gas there. Cutting a little bit of probe, a little bit of SCVs. He is very good at optimizing these early builds, guys. Look at that, 16 SCVs to 16 probes. It's almost like he didn't cut an SCV at all to get out such an early factory. That's very impressive. He's going to have this super early vulture coming across the map. Unfortunately, SnOw did not go Nexus first this time, so it's not really going to help him in pressuring. He's going to get in here and see everything. He sees the range upgrade. And of course, SnOw saw the timing on that factory. He knows what's going on here and that Speed's going to have a very fast vulture out on the map. Nothing he can really do about that. In particular, he'll just have to put the second Dragoon on the ramp, make sure that that vulture never slips past. Put a little pressure on with that other Dragoon. SCV still staying alive here, doing his best to keep up with that. 3 Marines, 1 vulture on the high ground, shaving off some of that early shields, and then the Marines can kind of handle things from there. I think we'll see the vulture run away for now. Yeah, that's just gonna head off. Oh, he needs to bring it back because the Dragoon decides to go up on the high ground. He needs that vulture in the mix to hold things off. 2 Dragoons are coming up now, though. Dude, if both Dragoons hit from either side, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does he have a bunker finished yet? We're missing a bit of a fight here. Okay, there it is. Yeah, the bunker. Oh my god, the bunker finishes up with only 1 Marine here. Wish we would have seen that fight, but our Spanish caster's a little bit sick right now. Having a hard time paying attention to everything. Nice move there, keeping that SCV alive by hopping inside the bunker, but this is already a lot of damage. He's lost the early vulture. I think it might have even been 2 vultures, but I'm not entirely sure. Follow this up with a DT play. SnOw gonna look for a quick win here. Then if invisible men kill Speed this game, I'm gonna start calling it for a 4-0 because he is gonna be so tilted. It is unbelievable. Getting overwhelmed by SnOw over and over again in the early game is unacceptable for a player the caliber of Speed. This is the guy who we're looking to take the mantle of Terran at some point in the future. He's been playing out of his mind in the lead up to ASL and in the early stages of ASL 19. This guy was a god, but he's being proven just a mere mortal here by SnOw, giving him cut after cut and watching the blood flow. Now setting up some mines in the front. Speed, what will be his tech choice in terms of detection? Is it going to be Armory eBay or Armory Academy? If it's Armory eBay, he might have a possibility of having a turret up in front. Maybe he has that turret in front in time. If he doesn't, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. You can see the DTs are going to go around the right-hand side because there's likely less mines over in that area, and then try to slip by into the natural. Is there a turret? There is a turret! There's a turret, but there's no army here. Okay, there's the 2 tanks. Oh, can he get the kill? Get it! Oh my gosh, I don't even know if he saw it. I don't know if he even saw this going into the main. I think he sees it now, but he's going to start another turret here at the bottom of his CC. Try to get rid of these DTs here. Looks like he will get 2 more shots. He gets that kill. I believe this is going to be a full-on shutdown. Not going to get much damage out of this. Another 2 DTs are going to try to run by. Oh, Speed. Does he have anything at this natural? He's got the bunker and 1 tank. Could just go for the tank. No, gonna run by again. Now gonna get it down into this corner. Start to hit the armory. Oh my gosh, this is so painful. Might have to shoot his own SCV to try and kill this DT here. Missile turret coming up at the bottom of the CC. Looks like he'll finally be able to deal with that once the turret finishes. 2 kills on this Dark Templar, but denying a lot of mining time. 3 kills now. I think this is enough damage, actually. He's done enough. And he's even found another spot here over at the very far left. Good God, is this annoying for Speed. 2 DTs in his base that he can't find right now, by the way. Finally, that goes down, but another SCV does die on the back end. Finally, Academy is going to be coming up here, adding on that other 3rd tech. You never want to add those all at the same time, but eventually you do want all 3. So he's going to get that online, get rid of that DT. Is this going to be an Arbiter follow-up from SnOw? I think that's pretty likely. SnOw already in a good spot. He's not the best with Arbiters, but he can make it work, especially if he gets some early damage and he's got a lead. He can make pretty much anything work. I would love to see SnOw go for a scout game at some point in one of these duels here. I don't think we'll ever see that, but that would be absolute cinema. We do have a potential Reaver moving forward now. We go ahead and switch up the music here now that we're in game number 3, and Protoss is absolutely dominating. It's SnOw's world at this point. Speed is just living in it. He's going to go ahead and attack that 3rd base, see if he can get in there and deal some damage, but a drop is going to come in. This is probably actually a DT drop. It could be some storms in there too, though, however. That was a very early Templar Archives. Wow, that trade went pretty Speed favored, and now he's going to get up on this high ground, push all the probes away. Could look to snipe every probe with these vultures, by the way, as well. Once he lays down the mine, he may be interested in moving over there to do that. Dragoons down here. Can't really get much done. There's too many different ways for the vultures to make their way across the map. Can't, like, shut down the rally point. And he's gonna slip by into the natural. Dude, SnOw is falling apart right now. Speed getting the better of him with this kind of sudden attack coming in. There's the Reaver. Reaver on top of 3 tanks is not gonna do too well. Did a lot of damage very quickly with that, and this Vulture in the main getting some good damage on this probe line. Not targeting down probes there, unfortunately for Speed, but he's still got a good position just outside of the natural. SnOw on that high ground, but there's mines everywhere. There's a turret here on this little pizza slice, and a Vulture slips in again, gonna get some more kills. Looks like the Reaver's gonna be sent up here to deal with that, but at least 3 kills are gonna go down. Might even get some more here with a little bit of extra micro. Maybe run away from that. Okay, not gonna do it. Does lose the Vulture, and SnOw is starting to stabilize after this attack, but Speed's gonna continue to be annoying here. Gonna continue to loop around, get into a better and better spot where it's harder and harder for SnOw to kind of break that open. He's got even a Wraith now. Oh, Reaver gonna take a shot. Gets rid of 2 Vultures with that. Pretty nice. Bring in the Wraith up. Can he get the shuttle? He will get the shuttle, but the Reaver will be dropped out here. Reaver at least making landfall. Tank gonna siege up in the back line. 2 tanks, in fact, here at the natural, ready to deal with SnOw's counter push. Scan there on the high ground. Very important scan. Gonna be SnOw trying to come down that ramp with 2 Zealots to get on top of these tanks, but Speed preempts that. Now he's got some high ground vision here. Can start to hit the Nexus as well. If that Nexus goes down, SnOw is out of this game, but I don't think that's gonna occur. Speed will end up losing all these tanks on low ground, but taking an amazing trade for that. Targeting down only Dragoons. Killed 6 Dragoons for that. That is crazy. And a drop is now going over towards this main base. Speed is in control of this game now. He is dictating the pace. Completely turned around. This is more of the play that I was expecting to see in this series from Speed. You can see he's just thinking ahead, hitting all the beats here, knowing where the Protoss player is vulnerable and just keeping the pressure on non-stop. Gonna target down some more probes here. The tank can get some big volleys onto these clumps of probes. And probes are gonna be pulled off the line to try and deal with this. This is just so many probe kills, man. This is really adding insult to injury here for SnOw, who's already taken a loss with that early Nexus kill. A lot of probes went down during that first push, and now Speed's just gonna immediately take his third base behind this. SnOw on the back foot for the first time this series. You'll love to see it. Finally, Speed getting some momentum. It's not like this game is over by any means here. Still a long way to go if Speed's gonna win this, but glimmer of hope. Signs of life have been displayed by Speed. Needs to get that turret up on high ground as soon as possible. Those two Reavers would be very annoying if they started getting dropped on that high ground for free. Tanks are a little bit close together. But a drop into the main base, perhaps. Okay. Does get driven back. 2 Goliaths there. And with Charon Booster, no less. Going to be hard to break in on. Another CC is going to go up. He's going to go directly to 4 base, and we're going to see Speed turtle up for a little while. A 4th is on the way for SnOw, but I think it's a little behind the curve as to where Speed is at right now. He's already got this CC nearly complete. He's going to be able to float that very quickly out to the mineral only. I'm not sure that there's much that SnOw can do about that either. The positions are looking healthy for Speed, and in fact, he's going to get across the map here, start to deal with some of these cannons as well, cause a bit of a disturbance on SnOw's side of the map. This will allow Speed to very quickly move up and take that mineral only. Now, he's just going to dive directly on top of these probes, get as many as he can. Not a whole lot of probe kills there, but getting some value out of those vultures before they end up inevitably going down. There are the Templar now. So this is not an Arbiter play. This is DT into double robotics with very quick Templar. Actually didn't see the second robotics, but I imagine that's going to be the case. SnOw going to have a lot of army. In that kind of best style of play with just faster Templar coming out. That extra added splash damage is going to be key to SnOw's victory in this game. Kind of shove in here. Vulture's going to wrap around these Dragoons, kind of trap them as the tanks continue to fire from the low ground. Great snipe. That's a lot of a lot of Goliaths. My goodness, so many Goliaths there, ready to start gunning down these shuttles. Speed going much heavier on the Goliath number than I would have expected, than you see most Terran players go for. Storm there on the Goliaths as they try to retreat. He's gonna get like 3 Goliaths for his trouble. Moving forward here, target fire on the Templar. Can he get it? He does get the Templar kill. Even throwing down the D-Matrix there before SnOw could drop a storm on that pair of tanks. Can he get the shuttle? Oh, shuttle so low, but it does survive. Very close there. Speed holds his 4th base here at the 16-minute mark. This is feeling like a pretty good spot for a Terran player. The mineral only for SnOw is coming online as well, but currently on even bases. That is a very good sign for Speed at the moment. Heading up towards top right once again, and Nexus going to be thrown down center right. Should be the point of contention here, but I don't think that Speed knows about that location. Nice probe drilling from SnOw to mitigate damage there, but he's behind in workers overall. EMP coming online for Speed. Going to be looking for those shutdowns on Templar as they get dropped out. Can be difficult to pull off, but if you land the right EMP at the right moment, the impact in the fight can be massive. You're relying so heavily as the Protoss player on some very key storms. Oh, he snipes the science vessel. That really hurts, especially with the early investment into EMP. Not having a second science vessel is not going to be feeling good. He does have a lot of gas though. Speed, I don't think he's added put a third add-on down yet, so he can keep making a lot of science vessels for the time being. 1,000 gas in the bank, so that's definitely going to be the case. Finds this base over in center right, that other main that's been taken. Gonna try and get rid of some of these cannons if he can. We'll get rid of at least 2 of them. The third manages to survive for now. And probes are gonna get transferred here shortly. Over to that center right already. Pushing forward now. We want to get rid of that shuttle. He will get rid of the shuttle, and the 2 Reavers are stranded now. These 2 stranded Reavers are going to continue to fight as they back away, getting some good damage on Goliaths and Vultures as they do. Staying out of range of those tanks, at least for now. Another shuttle comes up. Can't just reload these Reavers up again, so hardly making any progress there. Speed only taking a little bit of this map. Now going to start to push towards the middle. I think this is the better way to play Terran on this map. Once you've secured those 4 bases, take the center. Doesn't have any value in terms of mining. No minerals at that location, but it has huge strategic value in allowing you to control the flow of units. And if you can force an engagement in the center, the Protoss player kind of filtering into you, it can go extremely Terran favored. Can be a very difficult location to break, and so Speed for now, he's actually going to raid the natural, go after some Templar. That's 2, 3, 4 Templar that are going to end up going down. Huge kills here. About 5 Templar in total have just been removed from the game. That's, you know, potentially 10 storms, and with the amulet upgrade, even more than that, 15 storms that could be leveraged by SnOw, but will not be due to that Vulture run by. SnOw nearing max supply. Speed as well, getting pretty high up there, at least at a level where he could end up pushing, slowly eking out here towards the top side. Storm on the low ground, but the Templar gets sniped there, only dealing a little damage to some of these Vultures with that Storm. Speed is doing this kind of interesting thing where he's pushing with part of his army to the north, and part of his army is actually going over to the center right. I don't think this is going to work out well for him. SnOw can bring everything together and dive on top of this. The tanks are going to siege up here in the back line. Some mines are going to connect here to get rid of a few of these tanks. He's actually going to hold very strong in the end of the day. Most of the Dragoons are going to end up going down. In fact, all the Dragoons do fall. And now Speed going to push over to the right-hand side. Can he do the same thing on this side of the map? He's got a siege up. Not in big clumps. Oh my god, these storms are so brutal. Oh, no, 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 no. Speed. Speed, what are we doing? That push was insanely good for SnOw. Sending in the tanks like that was a massive mistake. Getting a little impatient there as he's trying to push forward. Now there's a lot of Zealots coming down from the north, and he's going to be hitting this from multiple angles. I think he might clean up every tank here, unless we have a massive rally of Vultures coming forward. And even then, like, look, he's killing off so many tanks. Speed is really falling apart in this late game now. I thought that with the win on the left-hand side of the map, Speed would easily be able to pull everything together and start to get on top of this high ground at the very least, if not kill that base in center right. But the continual storms here over and over and over again, shutting him down. Now pushing up towards the top. But he's only pushing with like 2 tanks here. This is not going to work, Speed. The rallies will easily defend this. SnOw going to run everything back. One D-Matrix here. He's just going to siege up that tank. Kind of funny. Never pulled those tanks from the high ground, too. You can see Speed maybe not playing at his peak today. For sure has been tilted by those earlier losses. With some of these attacks, you would think he would pull those tanks off that high ground at the 3rd base and just send everything in one big attack, but he's been breaking off small groups and not bringing everything together to hit any of these bases. Gonna kill off these 2 cannons, but the probes have been pulled. It will get hardly any damage for this. He's only gonna force some units to move in order to clean this up, and not much more than that. In fact, the cannons are gonna get the remainder of the kills here. Storms gonna go down at this 6 o'clock base. Speed has been growing like crazy, but he's gonna start to lose SCVs now. You can see he's taking top left corner. Maybe that 11 o'clock base or 10 o'clock base, as well as the 6 o'clock. The pressure he's been bringing to SnOw has kept him on the back foot for quite a while, but now SnOw stepping forward and stepping on top of these bases, crunching them underfoot. In fact, another army's coming down from the north, might be able to break this. That's a lot of tanks coming down into position, but with storms, a lot is potentially possible. Good target there. Finally getting rid of some Templar before they're able to get their storms down. You can see how much faster these go the way of Speed. Once those Templar are shut down, the Dragoons and Zealots just cannot stand against him. It really is just when that splash damage starts to come online and smash through those tank clumps when things really start to go bad. I really do feel for Speed. If he had executed that push towards center right just a tiny bit better, we probably would have seen a victory from him by now, but things have gone poorly for him almost the entire series, and SnOw is continuing to just out-finesse him with these shuttles, and Templar and Reavers have been keeping him in these games and getting him these quick wins. Speed now, he has to drag this out super late, and if this is going to be his first win of the series, it's going to be a hard-fought win. That's a great storm there. Another great EMP, though. One more storm is available. Oh my gosh, so much stuff here is not sieged up. Finally, it's going to siege at the end of the fight, and there's only Dragoons left, so everything's going to get splattered. Dragoons die very quickly now. The Zealots are not going to do much. Maybe there's a potential push here for Speed. He's at 120 supply, but SnOw is not doing well either, only 150. Oh, those Templar, he could snipe the Templar here. Those would be some amazing snipes. He's not going to be able to get them, and the tanks are very, very stacked up. 4 tanks for 1 storm. Oh my goodness. Okay, 3 tanks for 1 storm still. The writing is now on the wall here. Speed being pushed all the way back. His vessels are starting to fall. He will go ahead and raid top left with some vultures, see what he can do up there, but his tank number is not doing so hot. Not spreading out these forces like he should. And not taking the center, never taking the center here. Speed trying to push along these wings over and over again. And SnOw just taking him for a ride through this whole game. And a couple more shots from these Reavers. Great D-Matrix there, keeping some of this stuff alive. Can he get a kill on one of these shuttles? Hold position on those Goliaths. It means they're not going to be baited in, but they're going to eat the majority of that storm as well. Main base floating out now. That main CC is probably going to take bottom right. And if Speed holds all of these bases, he could still weather the storm. fight for this base over here where the vultures are raiding. If he can somehow get bottom right and this base, there's a potential to just starve SnOw out. Starving SnOw out of this game is going to take a very long time, but it is potentially doable. SnOw has not looked willing to make any sort of a transition this game, nor does it seem he has the time to do so. Only got 400 minerals in the bank. He's not sitting on some huge Scrooge-like bank where he can just throw down 5 Stargates all at the same time. He's kind of barely hanging in there and getting up to a max supply. We're going to go ahead and snipe down some of these Templar, getting a few on the outro and throwing down a few extra mines in the midst of these reinforcing armies. Vulture raiding party up to top left once again. Going to try to target down these cannons and fighting them alongside the goons. It feels like a tough fight, but he is making it work. Oh, that's a big mine connection there. Mine's underneath a lot of these tanks, though. The army is mostly going to get cleaned up. These vessels need to be pulled back, but they're not being pulled back, and Speed is running out of room to fall back to. A few more units are going to come out here and start to hold this line. Looks like he will, at the end of the day, hold this position, but he wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage there in the top left. He killed most of the probes, but can't get rid of that nexus here just yet. And so SnOw will continue to mine that, plus bottom right hasn't been taken by Speed. He's been shoved back once again, unable to take that base for now. He's going to try and sneak down here, it seems like, but as the Dragoons retreat to high ground, they'll see that CC landing, and now he's going to drop the Reavers up here, and you're just not going to get up here easily with a small number of units as Speed. You're gonna have to pull that CC. In fact, he might end up losing it. The CC is going down lower and lower. That main base, CC, finally it gets pulled back by Speed, but it's way too late. Really wanted to get up there and take that base, but SnOw just not gonna let it happen. Not without a big fight. Now some vultures once again gonna raid here. Another awesome storm. Dealing a bunch of damage to these tanks in the middle of the army. Taking out a few more tanks here. Another couple of storms go down, breaking through everything. Speed is falling back further and further. Only able to hold that 6 o'clock as a mining base and the mineral only, which should be mined out here soon. The third is gone. Nothing left at that third base. No, still juggling Reavers and getting massive value out of them. Speed looks like he should inevitably be able to take this base, but SnOw quickly mining out as much of this as he can, just trying to get rid of those mineral patches. Would rather they're not even there. It represents more mining for Speed a little bit later on. Pushing forward here, he is going to get rid of the shuttle. It kind of forces the Reaver to walk back, maybe get another shuttle out here to help out with that, but seems like Speed will hold this. What will be SnOw's response? Nearly maxed out again? He could go for example, try to hit the 6 o'clock. He could try to go for the natural. Alternatively, just coming up here and denying this base in top left is also very good. Couple of tanks on the high ground gonna die practically for free. This is a huge army coming down. There's no way for Speed to bring everything together. He's got to leave some stuff at 6 o'clock. He's got to leave some stuff at top left, and so his natural is very limited. Not a whole lot of stuff here to actually defend that all-important production line. Gonna bring some stuff up from that 6 o'clock. It looks like tank's gonna siege up over here. Try to keep this CC alive. But some storms coming down. Reinforcements coming out of the main base are going to be brought forward by Speed. Lacking on macro just a little bit. He's going to hit that macro cycle now. But he just doesn't quite have enough in the rallies to deal with all these so many storms and mines getting connected everywhere. Some good micro on this tank. Just keep that alive as long as possible, but eventually it does go down. That final storm command center losing more and more health. It looks like that's going to go down. Not a hugely important base here, but it's opening up SnOw to get in between the 6 o'clock and that natural. The rally point from SnOw cannot easily come down here and reinforce that 6 o'clock base. In the bottom right is going to be taken. Some nice pickups with these vultures. And SnOw spending all of his money very well, keeping that super, super low. In the end, actually, Speed will get up here a little bit before SnOw can respond. This is a pretty big move, but I think SnOw is going to try and hit one of these bases. Probably top left. Break through there before Speed can really get that established. And while he's dealing with this base down in the bottom right, shuttles are moving into top left as well at the same time. We've got a little army moving in to try and take out this 6 o'clock. Vultures arriving here at just a last moment with a few tanks here to back this up, but there's no reinforcements for top left. Top left is probably going to end up going down here, guys. Some tanks are ready, but huge storms on these SCVs. Massive damage on the SCV line. Quite a few tanks below this position, and so he will hold, but down to 31 SCVs. 31 SCVs, you just can't quite put together a good enough economy on that. Needs like 35, 40 SCVs at bare minimum on 2 bases to really keep the ball rolling here. And in fact, the ball is going to be shut down, going to be stuffed out of the hands of Speed as he loses that base in top left. The chances, the hopes of Speed winning this game are starting to dwindle. 115 supply. He needs a perfect spread on these tanks for this upcoming fight, but look at him stacking them up again. Gonna allow some amazing storms and reavers on top of everything. The reavers here placed right in the middle. Look at these reaver hits. Oh my god, like 6 tanks go down to just about 4 reaver hits. That's gotta be all she wrote. Speed, that final push not going his way, man. 76 supply to 159. It's insurmountable odds at this point, but Speed gonna hang in there. Another fantasy GG timing, but it's hard to blame him. He's been so down and out this entire series, and he finally got into a real game here. Hard to believe that SnOw is still gonna beat him after everything that's happened. Storms going down on all these tanks, man. That's so many storms. He will weather the proverbial storm, but diving on top of the last reaver, he does get it. High ground has been taken. Gonna start to kill some probes over here. Still a little bit of, I think, long distance mining going down at bottom right, and maybe Speed can leverage another CC up onto that high ground. If he can target down some shuttles here, run forward and kill some shuttles. No, not able to get those storms, or excuse me, tanks very close together for those storms. And yeah, he is gonna break this high ground. Speed eating some massive reaver shots once again. Forced all the way back. Can now take over this high ground. Speed finally lands that command center at bottom right, and the moment it lands, the Protoss army is all over that. We're probably going to lose the CC again down at bottom right. Pushing in with some more reavers here. Nice CNP right before the storm can come out. Get some good pot shots on these reavers as well. But SnOw is just bringing the heat, man. He's got so much. And he will get rid of that CC. This is the last mining. Look at that base. Look at what's left over here for Speed. He's got like 3 patches. That base is like a bald man holding on to the last little bit of his comb over. There's nothing left up there. But he's still trying to hide it. He's still trying to play this game. You know it, I know it. This game is over, but he's still holding on. Trying to keep up the fantasy here. The fantasy GG timing. There's still something left up there. There's still something. I'm not balding. I still have hair. Speed. It's over. He taps out. GG 3-0 in this series so far. Oh my goodness. Speed put out a great game here. Game number 3. Here we go, guys. Map number 4. Radion. Speed top, bottom right. SnOw top right. This has been a painful series, guys. I've seen live leak videos that were less painful than this. Speed absolutely hurting. He's down here. I wonder what he's going to open up with in this potential final game, guys. If this goes SnOw's way, the series is over already. Really hoping that Speed can bring this one back. It would be an epic comeback if you manage to reverse sweep this. Undeniably epic comeback. To go from this level of tilt into a return. Hope I'm not giving him my caster's curse, but I would love to see that happen. Let's see if he opens 11 gas. Try to get some early damage going. Radion, you really expect to see. Okay, I didn't see it. I think that was 11 gas though. I looked away for a second. You expect to see a Nidus. Or not a Nidus, what am I saying? A Nexus. Nexus first on Radion is just so common. It's so common. But SnOw's opening with a gas build. Let's see the timing on the factory. That's always a good indicator of when the gas was taken and what kind of game we're in for from Speed. Keep it together, man. Hold on, Speed. I can feel it. A comeback may be coming here, guys. Looks like a 12 gas. That 128, 129 factory. Very indicative of a 12 gas, a normal gas timing. Probe trying to get some good damage on it. Whoa, Probe putting 25 damage? Holy. Does lose the probe though. That is big. Losing the probe early. That's quite a pickup for Speed. Definitely worth the extra couple of hit points there. As long as he doesn't take a bunch of damage from this Zealot pressure, you'll take that. Marines are really not worth much in this matchup. They certainly don't scale, that's for sure. Here comes that first Zealot making its way into the main. Vulture. Will be popping out here soon. The position a little too good. Speed can easily move in between that little hidey hole there. SCV goes down in the main. That's pretty rough for Speed as well. He does get a full scout, seeing all the pylons and everything that's been placed for SnOw, but that still doesn't feel very good to lose that first SCV. We'd like to keep that alive, and now Speed starting to push out here. Gonna put some more damage on this Dragoon. The bunker will finish up here in a moment, but he's gonna lose a couple Marines. Oh, he loses only one Marine. Very well played. Very well played there. Vulture can come back here, clean up this Zealot, no problem. Zealot will go down. Oh, trying to put some damage on this Vulture. Not really gonna get much though. Speed starts his Nexus. I mean, his command center. A little thrown off here today. Feels like just this map. I'm really messing up my words. DT play gonna be coming out for him behind this. Let's see if Speed can hold it a little bit more cleanly than he did on Dominator. SnOw did get some good value out of those DTs. It's hard to even remember. That game was so long. That last one was so eventful. Hardly even remember that that was a DT opener from SnOw. And that it did get some damage going. Didn't do the most damage, but it got something. Some of these Dragoons are quite low, so he's got to be careful with that. I think a dangerous game here on both sides. Speed coming off the bunker to try and hit that. Oh, he's got to keep the bunker alive. Wait. What are we doing? To repair that bunker. Should have 3 SCVs on that, not just 2. Almost getting the kill with the tank. Oh, Dragon goes down. Block with the Vulture. Tank can live. Oh, it goes down. Tank does die, but for 3 Dragoons, not too bad. Not too bad for Speed, honestly. Now he can kind of push. He can come out now. If there's not constant Dragoon production rolling, there's a chance that Speed can come up here and start to put some pressure on, but DTs are out. And is there a mine upgrade coming? No mines yet. Dude, no mines. I don't see a turret. I don't see a academy either, a comsat station coming up. Where are the mines? Oh my god, he sees it. The blurs are coming in here. Dude, Speed is going to flip his table. Invisible men in the base. And there's the eBay finishing up, but it's too late. I don't know what to say, guys. Speed is going to be losing his absolute ever-loving mind. It's crazy. It's crazy how tilting this must be for him. I would maintain that getting scouted by SnOw would have been less painful than this series. Academy going up, trying to go up in the natural, but 3 DTs are in here now. And he's going to continue to lose SCVs. He does get 2 of the DTs. That's something. Maybe he can surround and kill this other DT in the main. Oh my god, it's got 8 HP. Oh, that's ridiculous. Did he finish the Academy? I don't think he did. 8 HP on that. That's only 2 SCV hits away. Oh, Marine's in the main. What the heck? Marine doesn't have any kills. Does the Vulture have any kills? 2. Another Vulture over here. Some counter damage is happening. But still, 7 kill Dark Templar, 24 probes and 19 SCVs. He's got to get so many kills here. So many kills. Speed getting in there. Does lose the Vulture there to the probes pulled off the line. Vulture gets killed by a DT. Try to lay down some more mines here. Oh, get one more mine. Nope, not able to get it. Speed still doesn't have a comsat. He is denying the natural from being behind, but he hasn't done enough damage. He's only 2 workers behind. That's crazy. 2 workers behind right now is wild. And this is a whole position DT, by the way. Does lose a couple more SCVs for that, but gets rid of the DT and oh, the mine connection. Oh, 2 mine connections. Big. 2 Dragoons left over at the end of this fight. 23 to 27 workers. It's playable. I thought this game was over, but that counterattack, it made something playable that I thought was just a full-on sweep from SnOw. Perhaps we could see a longer game. I don't know if Speed is aware of how much damage he's done or how little damage he's done. I think he's just playing it out because this is what he does. He's been playing out every game so far, right to the bitter end. regardless of how tilted he is. Maybe this is how he avoids tilt, or how he deals with tilt, is just stay in the game and just keep fighting to the bitter end. I try to find a way back in. Me personally, if I stay into a game that I'm for sure losing, I feel like that tilts me even more, but hey, you gotta do what works for you. Let's switch back to the Terran music now. Speed, is the comeback imminent? Is it time? After all the chaos that's happened in this 4th game and throughout the entire series, is he finally gonna bring a victory here for the Terrans? He's got the +1 upgrade rolling, and SnOw's a little haphazard with his build, right? He went for early DTs. Now he's finally getting an observer out. He can't really move out at all until he's got that observer, considering how many mines are around his base. Scan goes in. I believe that was scan of the main. And I think he's realizing it's probably going to be the same build as last time. Just SnOw coming out, getting a 3rd base online, and then moving into Templar with Storm as soon as possible. Speed kind of halting a little bit on worker production. I'm not sure if he intentionally did that or not. Falling a bit behind SnOw. A bit further behind SnOw in terms of that overall worker count. Maybe he hit a supply block or something like that. Not really sure. But he is getting closer now. Catching up a bit. 42 workers total. He has enough to do a massive 2-base push. If he wants to do like a +1 push with 6 factory, he could do that. Only problem with that is DT's in the mix. It's hard to have enough scan on 2 bases to deal with all that. So for the time being, looks like he's going to be building maybe a starport over there in the top right. I'm not sure if that's what he's got, but it looked like a starport to me when we saw it, a brief glimpse of it on screen. We'll hold on to that thought for a moment until we see it for certain, but a 3rd base on the way for SnOw. He's going to quickly move to secure this location and possibly bring this 4th base online. Speed, meanwhile, sitting here at 12 minutes, has yet to try and secure his own 3rd base, and may in fact be going for a 2-base timing, adding on more factors, going up to 5 fact now. There is something over at the top right corner of his base. It's a CC. Okay, CC, 3rd base gonna come up here for Speed, getting those extra factories online to make sure that he doesn't just die as he tries to take this. Of course, SnOw will move to take his 4th base here soon. And so he's probably not going to fully commit to breaking this open, but if he senses any weakness at all, any position that he can easily get in and kill a couple of tanks with a Reaver, something like that, then he's going to pull the trigger on a full all-in attack, just smash through. Nice scan there, getting rid of that DT. Pesky DT slowing down the turret. Quite annoying there for Speed. Speed gonna have to play pretty conservatively here for a minute. Has finished his +1 now. There's the drop in the back line. Behind the mineral patches here, getting a couple of good shots there on some vultures. Lowering that vulture overall number. There should be Zealot Speed coming online here shortly. So there's an opportunity perhaps for SnOw to try and break through as he kills more vultures with these Reavers. Going to town and just diving in with the Zealot. High Zealot number he's accumulated might be a possibility. He's looking for a way in to perhaps assault that main base, but for now, not really finding it. Templar are now out in force. Plenty of Templar here and a 40 supply, nearly 40 supply advantage for SnOw. Probably a 40 supply army advantage for SnOw, as he is sitting a little bit ahead in those workers. Oh, excuse me, 30 supply, not quite 40. Still holdable for Speed, but he's got to deal with these drops a little bit better. Oh, the tanks, some of them are still unsieged. That's a big connection with the mines there on the Zealots, though. Not many Zealots remain. The siege tanks are going to try to run in here. Target fire on the DTs is not quite there on the High Templar. Wait, where's the Storm? Wait, where's the Storm? Storm? No Storm? Wow, no Storm in this fight, but still SnOw will kind of clear through. Tanks are going to siege up here, brought over from the third base, and it looks like Speed will hold. Feels like SnOw would have just smashed that if there were Storm as well. But without the Storm, maybe a rare mistake from SnOw. Without Storm, he will not break this, and Speed can continue on. Again, about 20 supply behind at this point. Closing the gap a bit. Speed, is this the stroke of luck that he needed to perhaps bring himself back in this series? At least put one win on the board. Save some face at the very least. He's got that pride to consider, right, guys? It's one thing a Saiyan always has. He's got to keep that intact. Third add-on is being made now for Speed as he goes in for this drop. Is it out of range of the cannon? Oh, okay, yeah, I guess he can get in that corner. That corner is going to be out of range there, so he can kill a few extra probes at the periphery. That's very nice. Actually evening up the probe count to the SCV count now. A lot of bases are being taken by SnOw. He sees how defensive Speed is being, and so he's taking a lot of liberties here to just grab bases all over the place. Taking double base, double expansion top left. There might be opportunities here for Speed. He sees all the bases that are being taken. Pick up and... okay, he's going to fly over the high ground. Won't know about that top left base unless he's scanned it. But there's potential in this series, guys. There's potential in this game for SnOw to maybe make this work. Storm on the front tank there. Seems like Storm has been researched. I didn't see it being researched when our observer was checking the Templar archives. We can run forward here, snipe a couple of Templars. That's nice. Getting rid of some more of that Storm. Now unsieging everything. He needs to bring everything with this push, though. Absolutely everything. If he wants to push out here, cannot hold anything back in this upcoming push. Getting rid of those mines is nice. The mines underneath the tanks as well. Gonna get rid of some of them. Another dive forward here to kill some Templar would be awesome as well. Looks like he does get one just from the mini-map there, and he's continuing to harass with his dropship there in the main. Being very annoying. Slowing down SnOw just that tiny little bit extra. Heading over towards the rally point. Can he get another Templar? No, not for the time being. Forcing SnOw back just a little bit. Tank number very high. He's actually ahead in supply, guys. Oh my goodness. Speed is ahead in supply, maybe for the first time this series. He's in a strong position. Okay, SnOw's supply just jumped up. I think he hit a macro round. And so he's actually ahead now, but you can see how close it is with Speed. Slowly shoving forward here. I think he's doing it right. Spreading everything way better than we've seen so far in the series. Look at that spread on the tanks. Far deeper tank line to try and break through. SnOw's going to have a very hard time getting through all of that. And the fourth base should be Speed's if he continues to play like this. SnOw will just not be able to get those big, juicy storms on huge clumps of tanks. Now, Could have targeted down the shuttle and maybe even got that if he was targeting fully the whole time. Sniping down some Templar as these tanks try to sneak forward. Nice snipe on the Templar in the back line. Good target fire there. These tanks may end up going down, and Vultures over on the side are going to go down as well, but it's okay. Snipe some more High Templar, got rid of a few more of those tech units, and now he's able to move forward a little bit more aggressively here. Oh, that's a pretty good clump of tanks, man. Really do want to spread these out a little bit more. Unsiege and pull out the tanks that are too close together, and just leave behind a more spread section of tanks. Gonna try to come up this high ground. Oh my gosh. Reaver didn't get any shots off there. Another stroke of luck here for Speed. As he takes this 4th base, the Vulture in top right is still being annoying. Hard to believe SnOw didn't send anything up there to deal with that until this moment. But there it is. High Templar being dropped. Gonna get some good damage on these Vultures as they try to come down. Tanks, though, on the high ground are going to wipe out the Goon army, though. And look at this. Now ahead in supply. Okay, for another second there, Speed was ahead. And the 4th base will finally come down. 20 minutes in. It's pushing it here, but this has been a wild game. Overall, a pretty wacky and wild game. Definitely not gone smoothly for either player. That CC heading out in the wrong direction. Hey, Speed, are we awake? Gotta send that back. Definitely want to get that base set up as soon as possible. We're already at the 21-minute mark. Can't be waiting, can't be delaying too much longer as the... Oh, he actually pulled his natural. Guys, he pulled his natural CC to go ahead and take this 4th. Speed feels like he's in a really bad spot, I think. Otherwise, why would he not build a CC on location? I have to get this up now. I guess he's looking at the clock and thinking, man, I am so far behind where I should be right now. I have to get this CC out now, and I can't wait for another one to be built. I don't have the money for it, maybe. But he still has mining at the natural. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Bush coming in towards this 3rd base. Trying to get a little damage going here. See what he can do. We get rid of a couple of supply depots there, but great D-Matrix to stave off that damage from those storms. And another great trade there for Speed. SnOw hasn't set up bottom left just yet. He hasn't been able to get down there with any probes, but SnOw is holding that area with his Reavers as of yet. Speed could split this map in half, guys. He could just bunker in, split the map, take the bottom left, hold that entire center, and kind of dare SnOw to fight him. That might be the way to play this one out. He just now spots that SnOw's taking that 3rd base in the top left. Pushing in now with some shuttles and Storm. Pretty good storms here overall, but the shuttle goes down a little early. Only getting maybe 2 or 3 Templar out of that shuttle before it falls. Getting off a couple of tanks here and there, but nothing that can't be replaced for Speed. Speed gonna suffer a little bit without that natural gas, by the way. I don't think he mined that out all the way, and he's just down to 2 gases at this point. The main gas is mined out. Just a trickle of resources coming in from that at this point. EMP, okay, EMP goes down, but 1 storm gets off. This army pushing forward is really looking scary. That's a lot of tanks, man, but he's got to be super careful with how he pushes forward. 1 bad engagement like we saw in that game on Dominator. 1 bad engagement and everything falls apart. Please, Speed, bring us to a game number 5. I beg of you. Do not let it go down like this, man. Cease. Think of your pride. He's attempting to push over through the middle of the map. What is his target right now? I thought he was going for a split map situation. That's way too clumped, by the way. That clump of tanks is how you lose games against this style from SnOw. Please do not siege everything up on top of each other. Keep it spread here, Speed. He's pushing up towards top left, it looks like. Oh, the siege up. Okay. Denied again. SnOw not able to get good damage on this tank line. Not able to get a bunch of storms out here or reavers working for him. And now Speed can slowly creep forward. He's made up most of the distance here, and he's maxed out, fully maxed. Although it is quite late in the game. He's got to be careful not to mine out. Gonna slowly push up towards top right. He's extended across the whole map. His tank line is very long, very spread out, but it's quite strong. And it's making progress, slowly but surely making progress. Pushing over here towards that top left. Starting to kill off these cannons at the front. SnOw completely maxed. Where's that army gonna head to? No mining from SnOw at the third base over here in the top left. And Vulture's gonna get up here. Can they start to snipe down a lot of Templar? Quite a few storms are getting laid down to try and shut this out, but in fact, a lot of those Templar are going to fall. Tank's gonna get up on this high ground, potentially shut down these Artosis pylons. There's a pylon there at the bottom with all of these gateways. Very vulnerable to one of those snipes. The Nexus falls. Speed making progress, man. He does need to look for a fourth base, though. Or fifth base, excuse me. There's still Reavers down bottom left that can slow this down. SnOw knows it. He's gathered up a huge army. 200 supplies somewhere. Oh, it's carriers. Carrier transition behind this. Speed. He needs that fifth base, man. He desperately needs. He's got a dropship over in top right. He sees the Stargates here. He even sees the fleet beacon. He sees the fleet beacon. He's got to know. There's no way he doesn't know. Double cybernetic score over there in the top right. I mean, Speed, he needs this extra base, and he needs to keep shutting down bases of SnOw. SnOw really doesn't have a lot of income now, with top left being his main source. His third base will run out soon. His fourth base will run out soon. Those were taken at similar times. If Speed can get in here, shut down this base before the carrier transition fully comes online. Oh, he's backing up. He's backing up. He needs to take this bottom left now. It is a necessity. He's fighting off these Reavers. Gonna get rid of one of them, but the other gonna stand strong for the time being. Still fully maxed out. Speed. Come on, buddy. 3 carriers on the map. SnOw almost no gas in the bank, but plenty of money to build interceptors. That's for sure. He's actually not mining gas over at that top left. I think he just started mining it now. No, he's mining it 1 probe on gas over top left. I think those gas probes were killed by Speed earlier with that Vulture run by. He's coming back up towards top left. He let go of that spot for a little bit. Oh, Speed, don't just walk into the storms again. He's forgetting the lessons of the past. Seemed like he had learned so well earlier from that Dominator game. No, Speed. Oh my gosh, these storms. Oh man. We're not even gonna see a game number 5, I think. Dude, SnOw is making this transition. I'm starting to lose a bit of hope here, guys. That carrier count raises higher and higher, and SnOw still denying bases in bottom left. I guess there's going to be one coming up here soon. We'll get that 5th base online eventually, but oh my goodness, so many Goliaths are dying over here. Carrier's still just sitting in top right. Be pushing in slowly. Slowly getting in on top of all this. Still having a hard time breaking the high ground with constant storms and zealots being sent out. He's just going to have to retreat here again. Waiting for another vulture rally. Maybe some Goliaths to get up here. Surprised to see carriers haven't come up to top left yet, but maybe they're going to go for a counter when they're ready. Goliaths coming up here. Gonna go ahead and siege up on the low ground once again. In fact, Speed just gonna abandon these. Like, oh, all right, screw it. I'm just never gonna get in there. Wait, no, he turns around again. I'm gonna siege up everything. Here comes the army from SnOw. Speed sitting at 180 supply, but where is it all? Does he have something at bottom left to keep that base alive? He can't be allowing that to go down. If that base goes down, there's nothing here. Where's the 194 supply of Speed? He must be defending other bases. He's got to keep this alive, guys. Float the CC over the high ground as soon as possible. Gonna pull these SCVs away, but a lot of them are going to fall. He's got another base down at the natural there of bottom left. Probes being sent in. SnOw. Oh my gosh. SnOw. Sending in the probes. Sacrificing some of those units so that he can make more carriers. Tanks down here. Gonna be clearing out these Dragoons. Some Vultures making their way into bottom left finally to deal with those Zealots that are making a bit of a harassment happen on Speed's base. Bottom left. Carriers making their way forward. 6 carriers gonna go to work on these tanks now. 3 tanks gonna go down in quick succession. 4, 5. Here goes the CC. And the carrier number is just too high, guys. Oh, man. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Lockdown. Oh my goodness, that was the opportunity. That was the opportunity Speed needed, but where are his Goliaths, man? We didn't even see the ghosts being made, but there they are. Yeah, he needs all the Goliaths together to suddenly get, 3, 4 lockdowns and then kill the carriers. But I don't see any Goliaths in the vicinity. This is why ghosts are so hard to use. You can see that SnOw reacted to that very quickly and managed to get away. And now this high IQ play from Speed is looking a little bit dumb. He's not got the Goliath numbers to take on these carriers, and doesn't have the ground army to do it either. He's got some sort of army up in top left. I don't even know what that's doing over there. Looks like it's pushing in and trying to deny bases, but Speed's gonna go down to no mining. 0 income here in a moment. And all the SCVs are gonna start going down. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna try and push up here, but all it is tanks. So the carriers can easily go up there and clear everything for free. This is how it's gonna end, guys. Lockdown. Trying to be used by Speed, trying to get fancy, but it seems like there's no way this is gonna work. See, he's waiting for energy, guys. He's got 2 barracks making ghosts, but he's got no money left. Absolutely no money. And SnOw is just going to casually stroll in here. Start to shut down all of these tanks. Clearing out the last little bit of army that Speed has. And even the ground army here, I think. If every carrier was locked down, I think the ground army could still roll Speed. Just with a couple of well-placed storms. Well, with these tanks coming back, maybe not. I'm gonna siege up here. Goliath's getting stormed. Tanks getting stormed. Here comes the ghosts. Gonna try to do the best that they can, but what can you really do with the carrier army this big? He needs every single carrier locked down perfectly, and then the Goliaths to get on top of them to even stand a hint of a chance, and I just don't see SnOw allowing that to happen. In fact, SnOw gonna hit him from multiple angles here, and you're gonna see how much help ghosts are when the army comes down and storms start to be used. You can see here lockdown on a, oh my goodness, lockdown on a observer. 3 carriers end up getting locked down. 4 carriers in total, but there it is. GG, nice attempt from Speed. We hardly ever get to see Ghost play used, but he tried to pull it out here in this final game. He goes down 4-0. SnOw bringing it to a quick conclusion as he takes away that 4th game on Radeon. Wild series, guys. A really, truly wild series. I think Speed's going to have to go to the gym, maybe hit the bag a little bit. This guy has got to be feeling completely demoralized at this point. His pride, for sure, damaged. Not going to be feeling good about those results, guys, but I've got some good news. Tomorrow, Soul Key versus Mini. That's going to be a banger of a series in the SOOP Duel series. It's a best of 7 for cash. Those two are going to be putting it all on the line. Hope it's a 2025 series. That would be great. But thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you for supporting the stream, all of you guys in the chat. 14 of you here today. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, consider jumping in and watching on SOOP Live sometime. It's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Nearly every day. Assuming we're going to start a Duel Series Season 4. I hope that's going to happen, but the chances of us continuing this series are better the more of you guys who show up and support, make it happen. Just being here, making an account, chatting, following, liking the stream, all of this stuff really does make my life easier. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to stay up at night thinking about whether the series will continue, because I really hope that it does. We've had some great back and forths. We've seen another side of some of these players that we haven't seen before. Get a little backstory to some of our other series as well, the KCM and of course ASL. What these guys were looking like in the series that they had between each other before, some of them facing off in that biggest of tournaments, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Or if you're in North America, have an awesome night. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.